one swoop, we've tested value works, connections work, the accessorize thing is doing the accessorize. None of the gauges seem to be doing anything, but I think we'll figure that out later. The ignition wiring, ignition key, and starter work, and the engine rotates. So that was a lot of testing in one shot. Now we got to move on to sparkles. And that is going to come down to the contact set in here and the coil right here, which has a primary and a secondary winding. We're going to worry about this here in a minute. Right now, I just want to focus on the contacts. We want to make sure that we have a nice clean pad on both sides, where that's making a nice ground or contact, essentially in that. And then we'll move forward. Kind of a very awkward angle with the coil being there. But I need to get right in here somehow. I don't think I'm going to be able to, actually. File between these two pads.
What are you doing up there, buddy?
I might have to use a piece of sandpaper, actually. I can't get my leather person in there, so let me go get a piece of sandpaper quick. So I got a little chunk of 400 grit sandpaper here, so think like emery cloth, which you can get at virtually any hardware store. Let's see if I can slide it in here. Slide. Let's see if I can slide it in here. Slide. Well, okay. I'm going to bend this whole truck upside down if I have to. Now I dropped the paper. I can't feel his hand. So what's going on over here now? That's an acorn, I think. There we go. Finally got it in betwixt.
You gotta move. Yeah.
Just working it back and forth. Let the pressure of the pads do the work. If you don't manipulate either side, you're basically creating a flatter surface. But we don't want to sand here forever because we're going to get rid of the contact point. There we go. Now, let's turn the key back on, see what we got. All right. Oh yeah. Hear that? Hear that snap?
That's too far.
1000%. Got spark there. So we're good. All right. So now that we know we got some sort of activity going on, points of contact there, we're going to go ahead and replace the rotor. It's cheap enough. It's $3. We'll put a new cap on here. The other one has clearly been submerged for some time. If you're on a super tight budget, you probably could file something like that. Also, take note when you have this off. Ouch, key's on. I just got shocked, which is a good sign. That your mechanical advance springs are working. See how these arms flail out? You want to see that. Make sure none of this is stuck, corroded, rusted together. That's pretty good. I'm also going to shut the keys off because I do not need any more electricity into the heart bone. I'm already at risk. All right. Using cheap Mastercraft stuff, and that's going to be enough to get us by. This has a square peg. That's going to drop in on that side. I think fuel delivery is going to be our bigger issue here. We know the tank is fully varnished just based on the smell. I don't even have to look at it. That's worth the time. So I did the pump. incur the brunt of that whole situation? Meaning, is it full of rust and debris? Or is that going to work? Or do we have to put a clicky clack in it? I don't know. We don't. This is your window, of course. So whenever you have a point system distributor, this little thing here, that's your window to adjust your points or contacts without pulling the cap off. Now you know.
Better off over there.
I think I need a standard for that. All right. Got me a standard, which I think is basically called a Roberts. And in northern states, you know. There we go. And then I made a mark on the base. This is going to be our number 1 post, which tells me the ignition has definitely been gone through, because normally number 1, I would put it right here, kind of pointed towards the number 1 on the bank, but now it's over here. So someone has dropped this unit in before. Not going to mess with that right now, but now it's over here. So someone has dropped this unit in before. Not going to mess with that right now. On these stock applications, it really doesn't matter. I'm here to tell you. I went with these over budget. These are the rapid fires. I didn't want that good of a plug, but I wanted a hotter heat range based on what I was seeing and reading on the old ones. Well, they didn't have them in the R45 TSs or the R, the R range, the AC Delcos. So we're into the rapid fires. And this is a heat range 2. I believe. We'll see what these do. I believe. We'll see what these do. I think I'm gonna. Oh, I'm so darn clumsy today, dropping everything. I got 14 tools down there. All sorts of stuff. If this doesn't immediately light off, I think the position of our lightning whirler is suspect. And then we'll put her on TDC and just double check that. Out of the state from being lazy and assumption, we're going to let her rip the way it is for now. So as soon as I tighten these down, we'll get the lightning hoses on. I think I'll just pour something down the app and see if this makes some noise. I'd like to hear it at least try to run. Make sure the bottom end isn't knocking out of the thing before we continue to put time and money into this. And if it sounds decent-ish, then we'll move on to fuel. Get this thing idling. Make sure all the head gaskets and everything come around. I need a change on the Earl. Who knows? The day is on. Lightning noses. Of course, the cheapest set I could find. What are these? Ultimatus. If you're really in a pickle, guy can reuse on the old ones. And if you could find the chart, you could figure out what resistance they're supposed to have or what the range is. And to throw a meter on them. And if they pass, they pass. Reuse the bad boys, Let's see, start with the coil. That's an obvious, easy one. Boom. 1-843-6572. Oh, these are super long because they're actually made to go underneath and around the engine, which we're not going to do. I'm sure all those standoffs are broken and missing anyway. So, we'll kind of just get a little creative with our extra length here. Just don't want them to burn. Here's a question for you. When you put your lightning hoses on, do you do it one at a time? Like you follow the order around? Or do you do what I'm doing? I'm on this side of the engine, so I just do all of the odds first. I'm here. Let's get it done. My thought. So I just skip the posts. 1, 8, 4. I got my 3, 6. Then I'll get my 5.
It's layering so bad.
Right? So, I don't know, one of these. And then with 7. And then I'll move over to the other side. For me, it's just easier not to jump back and forth, but how do you guys do it? Bleep, boop it down in the comments. Just curious. I don't know if you caught that. I was over here yapping away, and I put a hose on a wrong. Gotta fix that though. 1, 8. I need my shortest. Alright. I'll need this one. Why that cap seems like it just wants to flop. But if that's the way it wants to live, that's what it is, I guess. Oh, this one actually has the holder back here. Wow. There we go. 4.
Definitely so.
Keep working my way around. Well, we're in a pretty good position now. Lightning hose is in, sparkulators, cap, rotor. We verified the contacts are contacting. I think we should twist the key, hits, and see if this thing bangs off, makes some noise, smoke, something. So I'm going to take some pre-mixed fuel. It's got a little bit of two-stroke oil in it. And that's going to help lubricate the cylinders, rings, valves, all that stuff. And keep in mind, we don't know if the timing is correct. The absolute worst thing we could do right now is fog this down with brake cleaner or carb cleaner or starting fluid or something extremely flammable. Because if it's all wrong, then we're worsening the wrong. Anywho's, let's twist the key, see what happens. Yep. There it goes. Is it idling? Something sounds weird. I think that's victory. We got all sorts of weird noise. Well, that was loud too. All the exhaust is broken. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, it's hitting the shroud. I thought it was knocking for a second. Okay, we gotta fix that somehow. Or let it self-clearance. But it ran. And it sounded pretty decent. I didn't even check the gauges, nothing. Whew. Well, that's good news. Really good news. All right. Still didn't fix the shroud yet. I'll deal with that later. I'm not really sure. The whole radiator needs to slide or what? But anyway, we got to move on to fuel system. We're going to forget about the pump, the tank, all of that for now. We're going to go right into the over-under, the old 2-jet Rochester. And let's get this off, and we'll just do a quick and dirty tailgate rebuild on it. We know it's going to need it based on the fuel smell, the varnish smell. It's going to be full of junk. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. A lot of you are surprised, and I've noticed I'm trying to wear gloves and safety glasses and ear protection. Well, I mean, look at my hands. They're absolutely hamburger. Same with my sight and my ears. And now that I'm older, I'm trying to set a decent example, not only for your kids, but my kids are old enough to know right from wrong. So I'm going to try to show them a little bit more right before I go, if you know what I mean. I'm not perfect, but it's a bad habit I've had for 20 plus years. Trying to make it right. See what happens. strip. Perfect. You need a big ranch dressing.
Guess who has toys all the kids want this year? Cool and exciting. They'll grin ear to ear. Now guess who has awesome fun toys just for you? The answer is simple. It's Walmart. Who knew?
Buy leak checks. We've got Tampax with the dual protection system for up to 100% leak-free periods. They gently expand to help stop leaks from all angles. And only 3% leaks are great for backup protection, so nothing can lose your plans. There are tampons or there's Tampax.
Try gummy vitamins from Nature Mart, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin supplement brand. Cars lie to us. Motorcycles tell us the truth. Get a quote with America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Quick health check before I throw this thing back together. It would not have ran the way that it was. But I think we've got it fixed other than one issue I'll show you in a second. We have rodent pieces in here. That's a new one for me. Well, I've seen it before, but it's been a long time. The jets with plugs, which is these guys right here. The passage from the accelerator pump to the check ball was plugged. The check ball itself, which is this guy right there, was stuck in there, so there would have been a pump shot or primer. This gasket is shot on that assembly as well. The welds were apart, as well as the tubes. Pretty rough shape overall. Power valves still seem to be working and functioning. Cleaned up the needles with cheap filter. Did the same with the base here on the base. We have a badly trying to suck air through the throttle shaft, which the casting is actually broke on this side. So we're going to have a vacuum leak. Now it is time to pull all the new parts back into this, reassemble it, and get it back in the truck. Well, the fuel making happener is back on. Hopefully it can make fuel happen correctly-ish. Well, the fuel making happener is back on. Hopefully it can make fuel happen correctly-ish. There was a vacuum cap missing, got that dialed in. Transfer slots are set. Got the idle mixture screws set, about where they should be. If it doesn't want to sit here and idle, it's just cold-blooded nature. Or it's that vacuum leak. And we're going to have to tune around it a little bit. Also timing. We have no idea where that's at. But let's hit the key and see what happens here. Come on now. Bring it down. There we go. I primed it up so the bowl is full. Yes. I don't hear any clanking. It must be building oil pressure. Let me look. Says it's charging. Oh yeah, over half on oil pressure. Let me look. Says it's charging. Oh yeah, over half on oil pressure. It's gonna die here in a minute once it runs out of fuel and flow. I don't mind running it a little bit like this, especially at idle with that old oil in it. We'll get all the sludge and everything down into the pan. And now that it's shut off, with my clicker, no, only Volkswagen, then we'll drop it. Probably right about now. We know it's worth it. It's not knocking. It builds oil pressure. It lights right off. That is fantastic news. So far, we've been through the ignition system and the fuel system. We haven't touched the pump or a tank yet. But let's go ahead and drop this oil out. Or should we wait until we're going to have to get out there tired. Let's wait on that. Let's finish the fuel system so we can work. Let me go wander around through Valve Cover Valley and some other various stashes of old stuff and see if I can find a fuel container suitable for road trippage. Remember, we've got about a 3-hour cruise in this bad boy if all goes well. We haven't touched the clutch, transmission, rear end, or brakes. Sorry. Now the vehicles I have back here are back here for a reason. We sell a ton. We move them down the road as quickly as possible. But these are all here for projects or builds, or they have sentimental value, like my boy's truck, my truck. Waiting on parts for the Jeep, waiting on parts for the Ford. I need to put a rear main seal and rebuild the transmission on this, but I love it, so this one is not for sale. And that's why these are back here, but sometimes we borrow some parts out of them, and if memory serves me correctly, this has a huge fuel cell. There it is over on that side. I gotta get over there now. These plants are really neat. I highly recommend them. They're really great to have around, you know. Let's see if the guy can muscle this in here. It's got very old gas from a couple years ago. There. I don't know. That should work. Good enough for who it's for. Where's... That's terrible. I need to get that to 6 or there we go. So now that I got the NHRA approved fuel system in here, I'm going to grab some line. I got some chunks and stuff cut up. And I think we're going to run it right through the access port on the floor, also known as rotten rust. Probably zip tie it to the frame, bring that right to the pump. And we'll see if that mechanical pump is going to come back around and keep this thing running. I think if a guy, look at that hole, perfect for fuel line. Down this through here. And this is just so we don't have to tape it down the side of the truck this time, maybe. Not quite as look at me. You know what I mean? Or we might just have enough. Okay. Boy, this varnished fuel mixing with the original varnished fuel, whew, getting a little woozy. Okay. Now that I've got this clamped on, hopefully we have enough length to reach the pump later. We might just have enough. Yeah. Don't need to put a filter in. We're going to have clean varnish fuel right out of our see-through tank there. Yeah, we can zip tie that right there. That's a win. Okay. And we'll snag up 2 electric hoses here so they're not hitting the exhaust manifold. Blaming under fuel over. Just like that. Looking good. And we'll put one somewhere down in here. Wherever it can reach. Come on. There we go. One right there. Fuel system complete. We should be able to prime it, fire it up again. See if this pump will come back around. Faster, easier. But faster, but easy. We might have to force the fluid back down to the pump, get the diaphragm juiced up and the emphasis. Might get lucky. Okay. Come on, now. Guess I'll pump it. I don't feel anything yet. Did we run out of fuel that quick? Stand out here and bottle feed it to give that pump a shot. I'll try it again. Okay, I'm going to fill that hose backwards. Juice up the pump. Alright. Juice that line up. Hopefully the pump will pick it now. I have to juice her the other way. This way down. Well, pretty good run sesh for the little small block. Starting to see some smoke off the manifolds and such. That's pretty good, but we still ain't got a juice pumpilator. So basically, going to loosen this fitting, put some juice in this way, down to the pump. Try to get that diaphragm. Diaphragm. Oh, for heaven's sake, who put this on here? Alright. Yeah, so we got enough fuel. But if we I'm gonna fill it like this. Let that sit. Cook. Well, I think it's pumping on that old fuel.
Two chicken strips, 2 sauces, and brand new plastic.
Triple A uses over 34 million calls a year. Expect something more.
Don't take Sword and Mortal at the start. If you pick Sword and Mortal to start, you're in for a bad time. Sword and Mortal's late game damage may be high, but it clears slowly on. Leveling it up is also super soft. If you picked High Priest, then your luck's through the roof. High Priest is the god tier hero for newbies. As a god tier early game hero, High Priest can knock back enemies in front and pumps out surprisingly high damage. Enemies won't know what hit them. If High Priest doesn't pop, don't worry, keep leveling up the hero you got. It'll take you through all early game content. 7-day gift, Ice Mage Shiva. You won't be stuck on stages now.
Well, if we're going to be running it for longer periods of time, we might as well throw some ice cube juice in. I got the Xerox Original Green, the OG. It's already 50-50, so I'm going to haul water down here or anything. 1996 and older GM, 2002 older Ford, and 2001 older Chrysler. This is the stuff. Winter's coming anyway. This will give us some winter protection. I don't hear it spilling out anywhere. But it was empty, which is weird. Somebody either drained it, maybe. They were thinking about winterizing it way back then, or we've got a leak somewhere. Hopefully not a freeze plug or something like that. Got it. Gotta bring this pump around. I mean, we could pop it on a mechanical end, but just always try to save on what's here if I can before we just start bolting parts on. We're gonna crank it again, but this time I'm gonna pressurize the tank itself and try to push fuel through the lining to the pump. I'm gonna leave that hanging there. We don't need it. Prime it again, let's give it another shot. Let me see if there are any leaks. Yes. Okay. This time, I'll blow into the rollover valve. This ball might be dead. Acts like it wants to, but then it doesn't. Yep. How much more do we even want to fart with it? That's the question. The other question, finding these late model parts, old parts, isn't as easy as it used to be. Oh, try it again. Really trying to save this $20 here. Took a line off the pump, pressurized the tank, confirmed I got fuel under the truck. There's about 37 gallons down there. So when this lights the ground on fire, I'll take off, enough grass to get over to the fuel tank there, and that'll go. And then we just start pushing cars in there. Okay, fine. Come on. Okay, fine. Come on. Come on. Starting to feel something. Although that could be my bad back or the fan hitting the ground. Feeling the lines are pulsing. You can feel that pulse. That's that diaphragm. The reason I was banging on the carb is the needle's dry. It's fresh. Fuel. Wow, I can't believe a fuel pump sitting 30 years is going to be bad. Well, I guess we need to run to town now. See if I get one of them. Oh, wait, I might got one laying around. Oh, I already robbed that one. Ooh. Oh, shoot. Maybe. Oh, dang. Yes. Oh, no. Here's one, but it's broken. Well, with the engines I've got laying around, they've all been robbed already. I try to reuse anything I can, especially if you say running to the parts store. There's one in the O'Reilly network, but it'd be about a 45-50-minute drive there, and then the same back. Pretty much dark. You can hear it running again. I'm giving her another rip. I had a battery leak. I'm just going to keep trying to do this whole thing on pretty much until the sun goes down. Then it doesn't matter anyway. I'll go get that new plug. But this is the longest it's ran. You might could finally got it. Nope. I don't know. Okay? It does have a sticky lip. That's starting to come around. I just love the old story about, she blew it up, got a Parker. Sounds pretty good, actually. Hey, we might got this. I don't want to taste. Sort of run. my teeth. Well, persistence has paid off. Like the pump lathe. Sounds pretty good, actually. Now the next big test, before we talk about the B word. I don't think that's gonna roll down. Do we got clutch and gearage? Let's try it. And we gotta let this motor cool. Okay, timing's a little advanced. Forward. There we go. First, let me just. Yep. Reverse. Reverse. Yep. Fourth. Or third, excuse me. We got clutches, we got gearage. Low on wind. She's a little warm. Oh, thermostat's open. Tricks are for kids, but I got a tip for you. I'm gonna try to bring this lifter back around, and then we're gonna try to hit 2 coils with 2x4 and get a bunch done at one time, if we can. Sticky lifters, most likely just varnished, gummed up, everything like that. A little shot of vitamin B12 here to help that. I'm actually adding this directly to the crankcase, and I know you're scratching your forehead right now. Well, listen, this could potentially work. Now, if you're gonna try this at home, I ain't gonna be responsible. Only idle it when it's warm. Do not put it up, anything like that. Feed it the onions, pin the ears back. We're gonna let it idle. We're gonna monitor the oil pressure and hope that that chemical gets through the oil, hits that lifter, and frees her up. Then we're gonna shut her down, and we gotta let this thing sit and cool. So the next step is get a jackulator under it, get the front teeth dangling, get some jack stands under it, pop the tires, wheels off. We're gonna have to deal with those eventually anyway. We gotta start thinking about brakes. While we're working on brakes, which we have absolutely nothing, the engine will be cooling down. We can come back later, drop that oil out, refresh all of that. And we might as well rip these tires off the wheels, figure out what we're gonna do with the wheels while we're doing all this as well. Meanwhile, we've got an hour and 5 minutes left before it's dark. It's dark early. That time of year. I got a lot of cattle gates to put back up. Anyway, let's fire this up. Let it idle for a couple minutes. See if we get that tick to go away. Watching my oil pressure. I got plenty of it. Watching my oil pressure. I got plenty of it. What else might get out there? Yeah, don't be reticent. Let it chew. Let it chew. Okay. You'll take it. Adjusting the air filter. You can hear the idle coming up. that's how up here. Boy, she's starting to sound really good, ain't it? Good old small block Jimmy. Alright, let me get a jack later. We'll get the front up. We're just gonna let that kind of do its thing. Let's see what we can snag here. That seems dangerous.
Holiday gatherings on Italian time last between 4 hours and forever, so remember to bring enough San Pellegrino.
Today, the best mobile network in the U.S. is T-Mobile. You see millions of real customers testing the networks, and T-Mobile sort of opened a can of whoop up. So text an instant talk and say, "You won't believe where I am." Seriously, where am I?
Well, thank you, Venom Green, for the likes. Thank everybody for joining. I ain't been talking much, but got a lot going on. Trying to get
Well, we're gonna start with brakes.
try to get a couple things here going. A little chilly here in Alabama. How's everybody else doing? I gotta get a tail light so I can see the comments here. I gotta get a camera stand for this one. I got one for my main one that I record with, but I need to get another one. That way I ain't gotta do all this adjusting all the time. How's it going, Ricardo? This will be a little bit better. How's everybody doing? Like I said, just trying to get something going. Had a late start tonight, and as you can see, I got we're gonna turn that into a wood stove. I gotta get something going on for this winter. Now I'm gonna freeze to death. But how's everybody doing tonight? Come on, cat. No, they don't. He's wanting to get in there and talk to y'all. Appreciate it again, Venom, for the likes. How's it going, Malcolm? But I need to, thinking about pulling that other one out. As if anybody saw it, I put a video out. I'm gonna see if I can't get that one. Go ahead and try to get that one running. That one behind it, and How's it going, John? Mike? I'm going to try to, like I said, get that, that's going to be another theme build. And it's going to be a Fast and Furious theme on that one. So, but y'all's vote. Y'all on the video on the TikTok or on the YouTube, y'all leave in the comments, y'all vote. The top 10 cars that Paul Walker used is on that video, and y'all choose whichever one wins the votes. That's what I'll be building with that one. There's gonna be some, I've already heard some rumors about it because it's a hydrostatic, so there's gonna be some probably problems with that, trying to get it to go fast, but not for sure yet. But I'm definitely thinking about putting a turbo on it, but with a turbo it ain't gonna matter none if I, not for sure yet, but I'm definitely thinking about putting a turbo on it, but with a turbo it ain't gonna matter none if I, not hid. But like I said, we're gonna get something. I gotta do a lot of welding on this one still, and like, I don't know if y'all see my channel, but I work strictly on a real tight budget, and I just got started back doing this kind of thing, and I have no tools, no nothing, so I'm really having to slowly gather up. I bought a stick welder. It was a Timu stick welder, and it does good. But if anybody's ever welded before, it obviously don't do very good on a sheet metal type. So I had to basically use it like a TIG. So it's obviously because the way my power's on it, it's a flux welder, but I think it'll do the job. But it's a MIG. I'm gonna get it ordered and got it coming. I gotta get all this is gonna be fiberglass. I gotta get the fiberglass ordered for it. And like I said, I run on top budget, so whenever the funds come in, that's when I order parts or whatever I need for these things. So I gotta get in. I want to get into really. So I want to get into getting into that motor and see if it cranks, whatever. That one's been sitting a while. My cat over here is wanting my attention. What do you want? What are you doing? Come here. You're being a butt. See, you want to say hi? That's our shop cat. He's lazy, he don't do nothing, but he's here. That's our shop cat. He's lazy, he don't do nothing, but he's here. I mean, it's not that bad. It's in the 30s. It's in the 30s right now, but not as bad as it was a couple weeks ago. Come on, get in the chair. Biggin, get in the chair. Come on. Get in the chair. Go ahead. But you're being annoying. But how's it going, Richard? Global. Did I say Balone? What is that? Probably pronounced it wrong. Nana. But I had to straighten out that. That's what I did real quick on that, because when I put that shifter lever in, it was and I put the tire on it, it was hit the tire, so I had to get that bent. Still got to cut another notch because I'm not hitting 5th gear, so I gotta cut a little bit more out so I can hit 5th gear. How's it going to Sean, Bobby? Y'all got any questions for it? Y'all have any questions, or y'all got anything going on? I'm all for, if you want to join the live, explain what y'all got going on, I'm all for that. As long as ain't no trouble or anything. I'm going trail bender, American. Well, let's get on this other one here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it over here beside this one and see if we can't get this thing running and look at it and see what's going on with it.
Just gotta think of it like a hydraulic system, which it is. We need something to create pressure. Push the juice. Let's start with this master cylinder, which we know is bad. These two fittings here, I've been juicing them every chance I can get. You can see that here. Hopefully we can get these off without twisting the lines up. And after this, we'll move to the fronts, which does typically 70% of your braking, which is also basically a passing grade. So if you turn the rears, you just dip down there and sleep, we're good to go. You know, push comes to foot. Yes, look at that. Where'd my juice go? Juice, where are you? Oh, it's over here. I gotta bring the canopy up on this tree. There we go. One more. Come on. Yes. That is fantastic, dude. I got 2 more bolts here and here. Let's get this off. Eventually the new unit. Get her put right back on. In the carport here, and we're going to bleed this up. Normally I just do this right in the rig. I mean, look, this is your firewall instead. Brake pedal, brake rod, they're the same exact thing. But it's at such a steep angle on the jack stands there, the reservoir is just going to spill over and make a mess. So we're going to do it right here. And we'll just keep bleeding this until the bubbles come out of the tubes. Nice and slow. We don't want to agitate it. Just nice and slow. back up. Nice and slow. Pull this back up. There we go. Well, the new master cylinder is in. We have to hope that the shuttle and the proportioning valve isn't stuck one way or the other. We'll find that out down the road. So let's jump right in and get to work on the front with the front wheels off. We'll start on the captain side. I'm sure it's going to need soft line, wheel, cylinder, hardware. Who knows what the shoes and the drums look like. But let's tear in. We've got to get started. I'm going to get as much done as I can before the sun goes to sleep. You know what I mean? Okay. Good idea.
Okay.
Well, I think that's as far as the guy's going to get tonight. By the time I clean up my mess, put my tools away, all of that, clean up for supper, it's going to be well past dark. However, it runs. It sounds pretty good. Haven't checked on that sticky lifter yet, but we can tomorrow. It seems to shift gears. We kind of have a clutch, it appears. And we've started on brakes. With any luck, we'll be able to finish up the brakes tomorrow and maybe even have time to dig into the looks department. Just a tickle. You don't have to get carried away. But we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow back on the 70 C10. Well, good morning. Day 2. Cold and rainy. So we're going to have to switch up our plan here quite a bit. Now, I won't melt in the rain, but the digital equipment and tools don't like it. You know what I mean? And we're conveniently in a water washout, which is, well, I'm thinking right now. I don't think we're going to get out of here if we sit here much longer. So we need to quickly get tires and wheels in the front of this, all 4 semi-round, and try to get this up to the carport. And then we can work on it in there, because a big thunderstorm is coming and it's about to really just start opening up on us. The problem is I've only got 2 bays and it is full of stuff already, so I'm going to have to spend an hour or more rearranging everything, making some room to try to get this truck into the carport so we can continue to work on the thing. So let's start with tires, wheels. I want to save a bunch of money there as usual. We're going to do nothing fancy, but I do want to paint them up. So that needs to start drying now while we finish up the brakes out here in the rain, so we can slap those on. And in betwixt all that, I got to make room. And mess, go. Look out, Alex. Lucky. rough. I'm trying to resurface them enough to hopefully take a wheel bead, but it's not looking good. These are just absolutely rotted. They sat in the ground for a long time, and that's really evident here. I'm not going to spend too much time cleaning these. I mean, these really need soda blasted, but that's not worth the money or the time if they're not even going to hold the tire. So we're going to call this good enough. Clean them, prime them, and paint them. All right, these are about as good as they're going to get. They should go in the scrap pile, to be honest. They're just in such bad shape, but I don't want to throw money at new wheels for this truck. So we're going to try this first. I do have another set of 6 lugs, but they're on a 71 GMC. And we'd have to play use the tires in the rain. Speaking of rain, I got to go get the truck and get it into this slot right here. It is absolutely pouring rain. I don't have a choice. I'm just going to go sit in the rain. Try to get that left front back together so we can get it rolled into here. Well, the guy ain't got no fancy Taj Mahal pop-up tent and whatnots, but I do got the tarp-off firewood pile and 2 pick-em-up trucks and a couple cheap little bungee cords. So now we'll fire up the square body, drive this truck forward and make some sort of makeshift lean-to. Go find another chunk of cardboard to sit on. See if I can finish up the brakes over here. Well, that'll help. We're in a light rain or drizzle right now, but heavy rain is coming. You guys have seen me do this a million times. Just gonna put her back together, new shoes. Gonna reuse these drums. We're gonna turn them. Oh wow, I was gonna say it was just some sandpaper, but that is actually really bad. I'm gonna hit them with the cheek poker, then turn them. You can see the weeping wheel cylinder has really done a number. Made them really mucky. Nonetheless, we got to get a wheel and tire hooked on this thing so we can roll it out of here. And the other side, we'll just mount it. We'll do the brakes later. We just got to get out of this weather. This is going to work. Probably not good. Great. Just finished rebuilding. Dropped with some 80 grit sandpaper and of course some bicycle grad black. Brand new. Got all of that assembled, moving on the tires. I know what you're thinking. It's a white wall. Well, it is. Rarely do I ever say this do white, either white letters, black wall. But this truck, for some reason, is just yelling at me. You have to do white wall. That's what we're doing now. Cleaning these up because these have been sitting outside in the tree row since 1976. I don't know if we're going to get much. I'm trying to put some juice in here. These are going to be a little smaller, 215, 70, 15. They're the right width, but they're not very big. It's what I got. We're going to make it work. I don't have a hose or anything like that in the car for it, so we're just, making do. Some glass cleaner, Comet, and elbow grease. We should be able to bring these around. More kept the core into the lazy. Look at that. Hopefully this thing seats this in really bad shape. Well, we got the Iron Man it's bolted up here, so new brakes, rebuild drum, repack the bearings, brand new wheel, junk tire, should get us into the carport. You can see the height of the tire roll. That's kind of my concern compared to like the last place. It might look a little bit goofy, but gets us down the road and gets this thing up in the tree road. So it's a win-win. Down on the paws. Springs will settle a little bit, but you know, I like the white wall. I do. There's something about this truck. Just yelled at me and said that's what it is now. Oh, the burnished fuel smell. Now I gotta see if I'm fired today. Oh, I didn't even think about it. It's gonna roll. What a sweetheart. Let it warm up. And forward we go. So as a quick reminder, we still have berry minute here, so we can't be revving this thing up like crazy. I want to see. I got an idea. It's raining, it's already wet. I got a well over here and a hose. Let's go over there, and I think we're going to pressure wash this really quick. It's already going to be dropping a bunch of water and everything. So might as well make it cleaner-isher while we're at it. And then we'll try to get it in there. But again, we got to be diligent. First time moving under its own power in 20 years. Come on, girl. There we go. Come on, girl. There we go.
State first and saved hundreds on car insurance. Unfortunately, I didn't check if doing the Georgia bark at my boss would be appropriate. Go dogs! Yeah.
So we need to.
Well, at least I checked off state first and saved hundreds.
Greatest fragrance to all, and to all the best fragrance.
Some time. It's gonna take longer than I thought. But I'll get this Hugger orange just a shining. Well, clean anyway. All guys go. All guys go. Oh boy. Yeah, well, pretend we didn't see that. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and top this off. We're gonna need it anyway. I'm just being optimistic about the trip that we might potentially take. Not going to do anything about back here. That just needs scooped out or something. There's lots of dirt and vegetation and everything else. The body looking good. I don't even think these have wind in them. It's just the old bioswine hanging in there for dear life. Well, the guys got her into the carport. A little sketchy without brakes, but to be honest, I'm used to it. Once you get rolling about 3 to 5 miles an hour, you grab reverse in a manual, and you can use that to whoa stop. Got her up on the lift here. We're just going to let this dry a little bit. It's going to drip on the floor for a while, and I'll sock mop that pretty much. But now we can continue to work. Oh, tree limb's hitting the lift. Now we can continue to work. It's just actually just starting to open up. It's really raining out there, so we just beat it. But we got the left front done. I think we'll probably just start on the other front. While we're working on the rears, we can crack the wheel cylinders up here and just let that gravity bleed. And we got to do the same process, obviously, on the wheels, which are holding air and not leaking, which has absolutely bent my brain. We have reset could this possibly work on the old wheel thing? Doesn't mean it's going to work on the highway, but we got to do the same back here as well. So kind of just a hopscotch of stuff to do at this point. Man, this would have been a beautiful truck back in the day. Hugger orange with that trim. I'm sure it had hubcaps on it. Nice rig. Well, there's not much to explain here.
I'm already
rinse and repeat. Going to get the wild.
I'm already gotten into it. This thing has caught fire before. Right here, all that has been burnt. The filter was almost melted to the bottom cover. Wonderful. Yeah, it looks like it is charred. It's caught fire, something. That's got to be replaced or even get to think about it if it were running on. It does turn. It has compression. So that wire's melted. That was laying on it. Thought that was laying on the exhaust. So I do not know. Oil looks good. I think what happened was that cable right there's charred. It was laying right on that exhaust, and I think that's probably what caused a lot of it. They might have poured gasoline on it or something when they was trying to crank it. Who knows? But it's definitely charred. That's completely gone. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but that's what I'm talking about. It looks like it was completely charred. I bet that's what happened. Somebody was trying to crank this thing. They poured a bunch of gas on it.
fire a bridge jack under here, lift the front up, get this tire off, which I only put 3 lugs on. And same thing, got to redo all of the brakes. We're not going to turn the drums, you know, basically no matter how bad they are, we're just going to pretend we didn't see it. 80 grit it, clean it up, we're going to throw it back on, pack the bearings, all that stuff, get this front done so we can start bleeding this and then move to the rear. This one's done, rebuilding, brand new bearings and seals, performance, drilled, drums, rebuilding. Okay, so now I think we're going to try to knock down 2 coyotes with a 2x4. Let's get it up a little bit higher, get the oil draining, and then we'll go back and start working on the rear, kind of forwards and backwards. Finish up the engine stuff and start working on the brake stuff. So again, same thing, soft rubber line, wheel cylinder, cleaned up all the internal parts, new springs, doodads, and whatnots. These kits are pretty handy, you can get them right through O'Reilly. They're semi-universal-ish, but they work for, I was hoping I had like a part number. The only thing that could be goofy is the springs and the pins. They have long ones and short ones, so just pay attention to that. Well, we get our first look under the rig. There's the exhaust. Looks like it might have been cut or slip joint or something there, fell apart. Boy, that's a tricky bend over the trailing arm. Oh, the muffler's, oh, it's packed full of stuff. Pretty rotten. Goes back that way. Still has the original wood floor underneath the plate. That's pretty cool. Pinion seal starting to weep. Oh, oh boy. Oh wow. That is violently bad. So we're going to pretend we didn't see the carrier bearing has left. That's going to cause crazy vibration, but we don't have time to get into that stuff. The floors are actually really good, with the exception of, yeah, look at the support. That one's a little rotted. There. That's probably the worst of it. Well, and then we got our fuel line coming through. Not terrible. I've seen the worse than that, is what I'm saying. Anywho's, can a guy get this out so we could swap it and start draining this? And while that's happening, we'll start juicing the fittings in the back, see if we can get them off. Here's a better look at those cable organizers that come back around, and it's supposed to hug the block and go up through there, but we did not do that because I'm lazy. Okay, I need this exhaust pipe later out of my way. This is going to be banging and rattling around anyway. I dropped this clamp. I might try to save that and do something later on down the road. But this snippet here. Okay, I'll just set that down there real quick. Oh wow, this stuff is really rotted. Like, I should be able to. Okay. Now, can I flex or bend? Okay. Now, can I flex or bend? Yeah. Huh. Maybe the other one? Yeah. The guy does apologize. We're bouncing around so much here. But this is as real as it gets, fellers and fellettes. I don't have a team or a crew. I don't have a co-host or a mechanic or a camera crew or anybody. It's just me in here, and I gotta do what I gotta do to keep the old feet shuffling. You know what I mean?
Try.
Oh boy, I smell the varnished gas. and old oil in that for sure. Hope that lifter tip comes out of this, but we'll see. Get a ranch dressing for the filter. See if we can fit this one in here. Ooh. Bending the canister, not a good sign. Oh boy. I don't know. That's not good, fellers. Uh-oh. And it's risky if we puncture that when we got no filter. Absolutely bent our wrench. This truck would need filter surgery. And I'm being honest with you. We don't have time for that.
We're not using this engine.
So that's the next
we're not using this motor.
I just have to remember.
Not right now, anyways.
This is going to stay on.
It's burnt the wires.
At least we're dropping the oil and refreshing that.
But it definitely caught fire. It burnt the wires. So most of the wiring harnesses on the front is freaking burnt up. Carbs all burnt up. I mean, yeah, I don't know about that. So I guess I'll have to go over there and try to find another one. But this one ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. This is too burnt up. I guess I'm going to go out there and we'll put this one back and try to find another one. I was hoping to be able to use that engine. I thought it'd be a good fit for what I was wanting to do with it, but it's just too much. Until I find me another engine, so. I'm gonna call it for here right now. Gotta do some thinking, figure out what I'm gonna do. But we might be back on here in a little bit later. Appreciate it, guys.